All right. So I don't have too much experience with hackathons. Welcome back to Bradisms or story time, but I've done two, and I can say for both, you know, here's the plan. You plan, and then you implement, and hopefully you assign tasks. And you don't have to all be group leader. You can just do it as a group project, but like actually show up. So my first ever hackathon, I, it was async. So you don't have people being held accountable for actually being there, and it sucked because one of my teammates didn't show up, and then I was working with that was my first time ever working with APIs actually. So I was working with something that I was completely unfamiliar with, like the Slack API, which is known for being intuitive and makes a lot of sense. But I immediately uploaded my API key. I messed with my git ignore. You know, you push DS store and uh, your env. It was terrible, but the bottom line was you should actually like try to make something with a plan and also work with what you're comfortable with because you're gonna be working from scratch on a time crunch and you go to a hackathon and you want to win. So your instinct might be, okay, I should make something novel, I should make something difficult that not everybody can do. But if you can't make anything at all, you're guaranteed to lose. But if you make something, you might have a chance of winning. And that's what I found out in my first ever hackathon because I didn't actually make anything. I just fiddled with the Slack API, completely ruined our front end. It was literally just me and one other guy. The back end used to work, it outputted a terminal, it sucked. And all we had was routing as a feature, and we were supposed to actually be able to make like plans and fully fleshed out areas of interest, which I actually saw someone make today with Map API. But sorry, it was called like maps.ai. It was really cool. But we just didn't do that. Like we're trying to make a Google Maps wrapper and then have it like be able to route and like help homelessness. Like help homeless people find hygienic stuff at hotels. They just set up infrastructure to alleviate like homelessness and offer goods and services to the homeless, help get them to homeless shelters, like that kind of thing. But based off of existing city metro, and it just didn't happen. We had the routing, and that was it. And I don't have like a good lesson or a story to take away from it, as much as I just have a build within your comfort zone. Don't let your ambition eat you up, and figure it out as you go. As in, don't just draw the line at okay, I want to make something novel, I want to make something new, and shoot for the stars. Like no, make something reasonable. And I didn't do that. So I go to my next hackathon, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to completely just fill my own desires. I'm going to make something that I'm very well versed in. I'm going to solve a problem that I personally face and experience. It was automating teaching curricula, and I'm going to make it all in Python. And I'm going to work, and originally I tried to import a new AI model that they were advertising. It was like Nemron or something, and it was NMI, and I personally, like last time, I was really struggling with ngrok because I'm like, this is the first time I've ever worked with like a server, and I personally never had to even deal with like a DNS problem. My dad's a network engineer. I just let him do it, and I just couldn't reliably connect to the server. I had like multiple channels open, and I wanted it to stabilize itself, and then I realized every time I tested it, I'd have to open up a new server and then copy and paste the server back and forth. It was terrible. I was dumb. I should have just used one server, one channel for testing, and I just kept that the entire time, and then added stability, and then also I should have just automated that pipeline, and I didn't. So this time I'm like, okay, I'm one-shotting. I'm going to automate a workflow that I personally have had to do, which is you use different AI tools to A, set up your curriculum, and then B, actually implement your curriculum, like make projects, make lesson plans, and so you getting your actual like materials report, and then finding all necessary information, and then you have to go down the rabbit hole a little bit in case kids ask follow-up questions. They usually want to know why are they actually doing the stuff that they're doing, when's it going to come important, what future classes when I might have to use this. So you get all that stuff, and then you actually have to output it. And that doesn't mean put this all into one prompt. Like you have to layer the prompts, and that costs more money if they don't charge by tokens, if they charge by API calls, which they often do unless you're Claude. So I did that, and it worked great. And I actually had a finished product, and I didn't win, and I was okay with that because I made a meaningful improvement. And I actually had a project that I could, like put on my resume and something to reflect on and look back on and develop and continue to make. And I could actually deploy it on I forget what it was called, but I could deploy it on what they wanted us to actually use the NVIDIA for. So, I gained something out of a hackathon. So, they're good experiences to work on projects, but you can work on projects anywhere. If you have never made a project, don't go to a hackathon and start there. Like, your team's going to want you or need you. So, you have to start at a hackathon somewhere. And that's when you already know how to code. You shouldn't be learning how to code at the hackathon unless it's a hackathon like just designated to be a workshop. Like AWS hosts those. And at least for me, once you got a few projects under your belt, as in once you actually do like CS 151, I think, or like object-oriented programming, then, principles, maybe, I forget. But once you actually have projects to your name, that's the time when you actually figure out how to work as a group, instead of your group mates carrying you or catching you up, or you not understanding anything. Actually know how to code before you go into a hackathon, which is something I wish younger me you knew. And yeah, and then go to more hackathons, do more projects, because it shows that you know how to actually learn with people. And the networking, even though it hurts my soul and my being, it's also good. It's a good experience to meet people and hear their stories. And if you keep meeting people and you keep going to more hackathons, you develop that circle, that environment, and it snowballs, and maybe it'll help you one day. I don't know. I've not gotten there yet, but yay, hackathons. Okay, bye.